Welcome to Finance with Avery. Ally Bank raised their APY annual percentage yield interest rate again. In this video, I'm going to talk about that and also talk to you about and show you more about their savings account. Going into effect tomorrow, August 26th, Ally is raising their savings account rate from 1.75% to 1.85% annual percentage yield APY on all balance tiers. So no matter how much you have in your savings account, it's going to be going up from 1.75% to 1.85%. And less than 10 days ago, on August 17th, Ally raised their online savings account rate from 1.6% to 1.75%. So yes, that was less than 10 days ago, and they're already raising it again. So Ally Bank is really on the roll with raising these savings account rates, their APY, and other banks are doing this too, which is great. The federal funds rate being raised is kind of incentivizing, motivating banks to raise that savings account rate, which is great for savers because, inflation, definitely. I know you heard about inflation. It is definitely at a high point right now, for sure. And now this 1.75% and these other percentages around this much. Now, of course, they're not as high as inflation, but this is way better than having your money sit in an account that's not gaining any interest or in an account that's gaining like less than 1% interest. Because traditional big banks, their savings account rates are like 0.13, 0.2, 0.4, maybe 0.5 if you're lucky. So these online savings accounts are definitely a great place to park some of your money to get that higher interest rate. So yeah, starting on August 26th, they're raising it from 1.75% to 1.85%. Also for their Invest Robo portfolio. So this is like an automatic investment portfolio that you can do with Ally Bank. If you don't really want to be too hands-on with your investments, you just kind of go over some scenarios, kind of answer some questions on their questionnaire to see what kind of investor you would be, what's your risk appetite, what are you trying to get from this investment portfolio, and they'll do the rest pretty much. You just add money into the account and they invest it for you. Now, the money that's going to be sitting in that account while it's not being invested, it won't just be sitting there not gaining any interest. It's going to be sitting there getting that 1.85% interest as well. So that is great. And that's going to be also for their Robo portfolio account. So now let's get more into their actual savings account, some details on it here. 24/7 customer support. As you can see at the time of this screen recording that I did, their average wait time on the phone was 38 minutes. However, they do have email and chat, so you don't have to just go that route of the phone call. But some of the neatest aspects of the Ally Online Savings account are their savings features. They have buckets and boosters. And you can use buckets to organize your money and visualize what you're saving for. And you can set up boosters to optimize and maximize your savings. Now, with the buckets, you can set aside money for what matters to you all in one place. So you can set aside like a bucket, also like a folder or a pocket, you could say, of like something that you're saving up for specifically, or a down payment of a house, a rainy day fund, emergency fund, down payment for a car or for a vacation. You can just organize your money in different areas like that, because that sometimes helps people save more for that particular goal in mind. And no matter how much money you have set in each of these or how many of these you can have up to 10 of them, but no matter how many of these you have, your money is still going to be gaining that 1.85% interest that is at right now, or whatever interest rate is at during the time of when you have these buckets going on. So no matter how you divvy up your money when you're organizing it, you're not sacrificing that interest rate. You're still getting that 1.85% interest rate with these buckets. It's just a way to kind of visualize and help you organize that savings goal that you have in mind. So you can have your main savings account, and you can also, hey, I'm saving up for a vacation, I'm saving up for the down payment, and just move money over there as well. Because with the savings account, you're not necessarily just holding money in that account for like one thing. Typically people have a savings account just as a savings, or maybe it's just an emergency fund. But sometimes people want to pull from that savings to pay for certain things, and it's easier for them to not spend that money in a savings account rather than a checking account. So like saving money in a checking account for a vacation or a down payment, you might end up leaching from that, paying for this, eating out, or gas, or however much, and then it just kind of goes away. You know how that happens. You swipe, and the money just goes. However, in a savings account, you're just putting money over there and letting it sit and gain that interest, and then saving up for specific goals or anything like that. So that's what the buckets can be used for. Now, another neat feature of the Ally Online Savings account are the boosters. You can use these to accelerate your savings and put part of your strategy on autopilot. They have reoccurring transfers, so you set the frequency every week, every month, or however you set the amount $10, $20, $100, whatever, and the money will be moved to your savings account with the amounts and the frequency that you choose. And you can edit, modify, stop, cancel this anytime you want, restart it, change any of the options you want for it with the amount or the frequency. And this is just pretty much a way to inject your savings account with money automatically. You set it and you forget it. And there's no fee with Ally associated with this. You just have to make sure with whatever bank you're transferring money from that there's no fee associated with them. Now, another feature of the boosters is the roundups. So what Ally does is that they track your Ally interest checking account for transactions that they can round up to the nearest dollar. And then when you accrue at least $5 in roundups, they transfer that to your savings account. So when you're using your checking every day, however you use your checking account, and you're swiping, $1.36 there, $2.78 there, whatever, and they'll round that up to the nearest dollar and put that aside. And then once that gets to $5, they'll move that over to your savings account. So another autopilot type of feature. Then they have surprise savings. So they analyze your linked checking accounts for safe to save money, and then they transfer it to your savings so you don't have to. So this feature right here, I'm not that familiar with the surprise savings. I'm familiar with recurring transfers and roundups for sure. I've had those in other accounts and in the Ally account, but I have not used a surprise savings account. I used to use Ally as my online savings account, but I did not have a checking account with them, and I didn't have any other accounts really linked to them except for doing, deposits or transferring money to my online savings account. So the surprise savings sounds like it's some kind of research tool that they've created where they analyze a checking account to see what money is pretty much safe to move from there. Now, with the checking account that you link to this Ally savings account for the surprise savings feature, it doesn't have to be an Ally checking account. It could be a checking account outside of Ally that you link to the surprise savings feature, which you allow Ally Bank to monitor this account and identify that safe to save money to automatically transfer to your Ally saves account. And they won't transfer more than $100 to your savings account with this feature, and they won't do it more than 3 times a week. So they have a little limit on that right there. And some of the other main features of this Ally online savings account, there are no monthly maintenance fees and there's no minimum balance requirements. And the interest is compounded daily in this account, and it is FDIC insured. The deposits in this account are FDIC insured up to the maximum by law. And Ally also lets you know that you're going to earn 10 times the national average with that APY. And they're saying the national average is 0.13% right there. And some of the fees they don't charge. So they say fees, a short story, you shouldn't be nickel and dimed. And so they don't charge for monthly maintenance fees. And also they don't charge an overdraft item fee. None of those. So overdraft items, of course, if you don't have a certain amount of money, enough money in your account to cover a transaction, and you don't have to worry about an overdraft fee. So they do have that protection on the account. And also, there are no fees for standard or expedited ACH transfers right there. And so with that one, they said our standard transfer takes around 3 business days. Their expedited transfer usually are delivered in 1 business day. So no fees for those. No fees for copies of online statements, no fees for incoming wire transfers, no fees for postage paid deposit envelopes or official cashier's checks right there. So the official cashier's checks are a check issued by a bank and drawn on the bank's own funds. No fees for those right there. However, they do have some fees, and they say for the fees they do have, they do not hide them. There is a return deposit item fee of $7.50. An excessive transaction fee of $10. However, this has been updated. Federal law used to prohibit customers from withdrawing more than 6 times from a savings account. However, with COVID in 2020, that was updated. So now Ally has it where they adhere to this and they do not charge a fee for more than 6 withdrawals. And so with this one, this federal law that's been updated, they used to prohibit that more than 6 withdrawals. However, they've gotten rid of that. Some institutions and banks, however, still place limits on withdrawals from their savings account, but Ally does not, and they do not charge a fee if you go over that 6 withdrawal that used to be a limit. And then there's an expedited delivery fee of $15. An outgoing domestic wire transfer fee of $20, and an account research fee of $25. And there's more information right there on the account research fee. That's if you need them to really go through your statements and everything to find certain transactions, to research something. They could charge that $25 per hour for that if necessary. All right, now we'll wrap up the video here. So yeah, Ally has raised their interest rate and there's some information on their savings account. I used to actually use the Ally online savings account as my main savings account, but I moved from it years ago to a different account. I won't name it here on this video because it's not Ally, but I didn't have any main issues or really big problems with the Ally online savings account. I just wanted to move on to another account with other features and a higher interest rate and everything. But that's some information right there on the Ally online savings account. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Take care.